just asked me to share a few of our experiences over the last 12 months within our marketing and sales department at News International. And I was thankful when you talked about actually what you wanted me to talk about were some of the challenges we had faced personally in our business transformation and our organisational transformation, rather than the general challenges we faced at News International, because I didn't really fancy that talk. So for us, I think, you know, you've heard from the two other speakers today, but for us at NI, digital is a huge and complex, challenging issue for our organisation, and for more than most, I think, because digital is the substitute for newsprint. You know, it's the biggest pressure on our business model, and it's the only platform within which we will operate in the future. It's also been, I think, our single biggest strategic mistake. When we started on the digital journey 15 years ago, we took the decision to provide free ad-funded journalism via the web, which led to 10 years of unstoppable page view growth and, if you like, unstartable profits. So that's made our journey towards delivering paid editions in digital and sales in digital for marketeers harder as a result. Digital is also the substitute for our traditional sales channel. It is the future newsagent. And the tablet is now a significant part of our daily sales. So 15% of the Times daily editions are now delivered in a tablet format, so just on iPads and Kindle alone. And whilst we do have ambitions to go direct, Apple, history does repeat itself. Apple is our, well, they're not quite the National Federation of Retail Newsagents. They are actually slightly more organised than them. So actually, they still take a cut of our profits for minding, if you like, our store. And digital for our business means that, you know, we're all more connected than ever. And few companies have had to probably spend the past year quite in the spotlight as we have. And the immediacy, the transparency of digital news has been at times challenging, and you saw that with the impact of the Millie Dowler story, the 1 week later, the advertisers pulling out of the News of the World, and our decision to then close the News of the World. You know, Twitter was a huge driving force in some of the groundswell of opinion that led to some of those decisions. But it also has a positive side for us, because it enables us to continually talk to our customers directly and indirectly. And that wasn't possible 5 years ago. Nor was the idea of Rupert Murdoch tweeting every 5 minutes about things like the pasty tax. But you know, that's now part of our daily routine. Digital challenges how we think about media as marketeers, so how we communicate with our diverse audiences at The Sun through to The Times, with digital at the heart of our thinking. And you know, you have to ask yourself the question, is TV really the right media to market a product that actually only costs 30 pence a day to sell, as in The Sun? And I think we've heard about it today, the, you know, the constant and continually evolving nature of digital, which actually is, you know, driving, if you like, a key challenge for us culturally, but really a skills and knowledge gap actually in our organisations. You know, we in our business are converting from a retail and wholesale business, where our competitive advantage was actually how we fought day to day on logistics. I mean, that's how we won in the newsprint business, how we got to the newsagent faster and quicker and cheaper. But today we're looking at building a direct commerce business that is competing on conversion funnels. You know, that's a complete change to our business. And we've only been doing it for 5 years, so you could almost argue in a business that's been going 228 years, we're really definitely in the infancy, and we're learning every day. And you know, look, we've talked about this culturally, but I think we haven't really truly acknowledged that actually the senior teams in our organisations, you know, struggle to understand the power of social media, one, to put a value on it, but actually also to sort of really understand what it means for us as businesses. And our graduate intake sort of struggle to understand how that can be the case. So you've got this huge kind of, you know, conflict within your own organisations and the people in them. You know, and as Chris said, you know, teenagers think email is like, what? That's so slow. You know, so we've got this clash of culture within our own teams and our own departments. And so, if you like, that was the context for us in terms of the way we approached our transformation programme in marketing. And we talk about programmes, but actually I think everyone's used the language of journeys today, because actually it's really about how we work and how we're working differently. And yes, we needed to reduce costs, and yes, we needed to embrace digital, and yes, we have a challenge, a fundamental challenge, which is how do we maintain our print business and migrate to digital. So we had all of that as our background. So ultimately, when we kind of addressed this, we started talking about how do we need to kind of transform ourselves to operate in this digital environment. And initially everyone got really hung up about what that meant in terms of could we move into a nice looking building and get some new kit on our desks. But actually very quickly we realised that it was an environment which was shaped more by technology, and actually more importantly about breaking down some of the traditional hierarchies and structures of our businesses. So what did we do? So there were 5 things. There were lots of things we did with Chris and the team, and it was a 12-month programme, but the 5 things that I would take away when we looked at our business transformation for marketing. First and foremost, we decided to break down those hierarchies. So actually, instead of the change programme being sort of created by a small group of individuals in a room thinking about actually what does this all mean to us, we invited the entire department to tell us actually what needed to change. And in doing that, we had 88% participation. So 88% of people in the marketing and sales teams within News International took part in actually designing the future, if you like, organisational structure that we needed to adapt to this digital environment. The second thing we did was we sort of banned the word of digital as a challenge, even though I've just given you loads of challenges that we faced. And we started to think about how we embrace digital as an enabler within our business. What is it that digital could bring to our business that could change our business and for the better? And for that, for us, News International, digital is the enabler that allows us to go direct to our customers for the first time. So, you know, for us, that enabled us to think differently about what marketing and sales deliver into the organisation, and provided us with a new focus, which was actually thinking about customer lifetime value, which actually we've never been able to think about in a newspaper business before. So commercially, we're beginning to focus on this concept of lifetime value of the customers, and you know we've made some good progress. So, you know, 50% of our customers now on the Times are direct, and 30% of those are digital. So that is just within a 12-month period. The focus on lifetime value as well for us has also enabled us to do another thing, and those of you who think that actually having departments and transformation where you deliver a bigger empire, as we used to talk about, the idea of focus on lifetime value did actually mean the marketing department had to grow. We actually had to merge the sales and marketing departments together in order to create that end-to-end focus on lifetime value. And now that brings with it a whole set of challenges around the cultures of sales people who think about tomorrow and yesterday's sale, and then the marketeers who are thinking about longer term planning. But actually that's a fantastic culture that we're bringing together, and actually that's one of the areas that we're focused on in terms of how do we bring the best of those behaviours and cultures together to create a new marketing and sales team. Both Brendan and Mark talked about innovation in slightly different ways, and kind of how they are approaching innovation within their organisations. And for us, our marketing mantra used to always be make friends with finance, because to be frank, if you work in marketing, you like the finance people because they give you the money, and then you have to say why you need more money. So that was always our mantra, make friends with finance. But now in the digital world, and I think Brendan talked about it, and I think we're talking about Sally, who is my oppo at O2. For now, our marketing mantra in News International is not just to make friends with finance, but it's to marry the technologists. The marketers didn't look very happy when I first said this, because they were like, ooh. But actually, I'm afraid my Chief Information CIO couldn't be here today, Paul Cheeseborough, but he has transformed in very similar ways that Brendan was talking about the kind of culture within News International technology, and we do have quite a lot of young, trendy-looking technologists. In fact, actually, they are the new marketeers in News International. They are, you know, the ones that everyone wants to talk to, which is a little bit competitive, actually. But look, so we want a marriage with technology, and we talk about speed and innovation, and there are two things here. One, the importance of technology for marketeers and innovation, and two is the speed to market. Now, it's probably different in other people's businesses, but in newspapers, we're pretty fast. So I have now worked on 2 newspaper launches where I've had 5 days notice. The first was taking the Times from a broadsheet to a compact. We did that in 5 days, which is a pretty big and sizable project. But then the latest one that I've had to do is launch the Sun on Sunday in 5 days as well. So we're used to moving at pace in what we do. And I always found digital really frustrating because actually it used to take forever, like 3 months, 12 months. These projects used to go on forever. So I'm sure this is probably what you call agile with big A, but we sort of decided that we were going to go one step further from having to stand up every day and talk about development to say, actually, how can we work differently? So this concept of collaboration. And actually, we've decided to take a slightly different approach, but I think it's the same idea, which is we've now created something called a digital hub within the marketing department, which is we have brought the best IT developers and tech developers into the marketing department, and they sit with the best digital marketers in the team, and their job is to create, outside of the product development process, all the lot processes, the bureaucracy, they're there just to have great ideas, create great stuff and get it to market really fast. And a great example is, it's the first time that I've seen the digital team develop something in the same time that we can launch a newspaper, i.e. 5 days. This weekend's the Rich List, for those of us who love looking at what we'd love to do. It's out this weekend, and they launched within 5 days a Rich List profile Facebook app, just by having that great idea, sitting together, and they developed it and launched it within 5 days. So that's really about this idea of building a seamless creative and technical capability that kind of can reduce that time from concept to market by just putting the people together and telling them to work to deliver. And finally, the sort of fifth thing that we've learned is really this sort of constant, the culture of constant learning and adapting. So really investing in people. And so 3 years ago, we founded a marketing academy within the marketing department of News International. In year one, we focused on customer insight and understanding how people can be more customer focused. Year two, we looked at digital skills. And this year, we're really focused on how we build the blocks of lifetime value and understanding around that, so that we can think about the impacts of our new organisational structure. And finally, for me, in terms of how I learn and kind of constantly evolve in this market, which is very difficult, I got myself a digital mentor, i.e. someone who's under 25, and for them this means that none of this is new, none of this is difficult to understand. They just come to my desk every day and tell me the things I should know and things I should be looking into. So where next? It's a program. It's not a program, it's a journey. I don't think there'll ever be an end for us. We are married to our technology colleagues. And how do we know if we've been successful in all of this? Well, it's got to accelerate our performance, so we've got to be faster and we've got to be better. Our customers have got to like what we do, and we've got to be able to delight them more. You know, and the marriage is not just with technology for skills, but it's also the culture of sales and marketing. And for me, how will I know if we've been really successful on this journey? Well, it will be if the finance department stop talking about revenue, ad revenue and sales revenue, and they start talking about revenue per user. And we've actually built that direct business with our customers. That's what we're up to at News International.